Modah Ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shehechazarta binishmati bechemla, bechemla, Rabba emunatecha. Rabba emunatecha. I offer thanks to you, Adonai, ever-living sovereign, that you have restored my soul to me. In mercy, how great is your trust. In mercy, how great is your trust. Giving thanks for another day of life, another breath, another start, another chance. So we'll start doing some gentle movement. So I'm going to take the block from underneath me. You might do that if you're also on a block, and we'll just start by doing some stirring around and getting into those hips and the waist and deepening your breath. And reverse your circles and notice where you feel this. Do you feel it in your lower back or in your hips? Good. And come to center, and we'll do our breathing exercises that we've done a few times before. It's good to repeat them so that way we remember them when we need them on our own. So I'll go sideways here, and we're going to bring the hands to the knees, and we'll round the upper back, pull the belly in. So don't scoop the whole back, just the upper back. Spread your shoulder blades apart like you're reaching out in front of you. Your chin is towards your chest, and take a big breath in and hold it for just a half second. And then exhale, relax, and come back to a neutral position. Again, we're going to round the upper back, drop the shoulders away from your ears, and breathe in. And exhale, come back to neutral. So we're looking for a stretch between the shoulder blades, and as you breathe in, it adds a little more stretch to that area and the upper body. Let's do it one more time. Spreading the shoulder blades, rounding the upper back, breathe in, hold it for a second, and then exhale, relax. Bring the hands behind you, fingertips on the floor, press into the floor and open up the chest, but this time also keep your chin tucked and take a big breath into the front of the chest area. And exhale, relax. Again. We're going to do this a couple extra times since the front of the chest tends to get more tight. Again, inhale. Chin is tucked. Exhale. Relax. Press those fingertips into the floor to prop you up. Get nice and tall, chin to chest. Breathe in. Exhale. Relax. Good. So now we'll get into our rib cage. So I'm going to try to mirror you today. I'm trying every day a little more mirroring. Bring your left hand to your rib cage and your right hand to the floor and press into the ribs. Feel that little kind of mobility, this kind of squishy sensation as you press. Hopefully there's a little movement there, and keep the pressure there and take a breath into that pressure. And exhale, release. You can lean over a little bit as you do that. Breathe in, pressing, exhale, release. And again, pressing into the ribs with a little lean. Breathe into that pressure and hold. Exhale, release, and then take that same arm and now reach over your head, pull the navel in and reach diagonally. And take a breath and rotate the chest a little bit toward the front, facing front, or maybe even a little up toward the sky. Good, and release. And now just take a big deep breath and notice how your ribs feel. You might be able to sense a little bit of a change from one side to the other. And if you don't, that's totally okay. So we're going to press now with the right hand into the rib cage, left fingertips on the floor. Breathe in. Exhale. Relax. Create some pressure, some resistance as you breathe in. Exhale. Last time. Pressure and breathe. And release. And now bring that right arm up overhead. And exhale, lean a little bit without collapsing into the rib cage. Think of reaching diagonally. Breathing, rotating the waist and chest up just a tiny bit. And then release. Good. Let's do some shoulder circles. Both directions, just releasing. And then we'll take a twist, seated twist to either side. So first, just pick a side. You're going to reach for one knee and look over your shoulder. Use the back hand as a nice little prop to keep you upright. And then as you exhale, go nice and slow. We're going to go to the other side. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears and breathe in. And exhale, come back to center. Twist to the other side again, remembering to keep the shoulders down and chest open. As you breathe in, feel it massaging internally, getting those internal organs stimulated. This is great for digestion. Last time, go ahead and take the last side here. Breathing in and breathing out, back to center. Good. So from the seated position, we'll do a pranayama or breathing technique. And this one is called 4 square breathing. And that's kind of easy to remember because we're going to breathe in for 4. We're going to hold for 4. And then we'll breathe out for 4. And then hold that exhale for 4. So it might look like this. You would breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. But in your own count, right? Because that might be too fast or too slow for some of you. So I'm thinking of the breathing, retaining the inhale, and then retaining the exhale is going to create balance in your nervous system. A nice little square for the visual folks. So we'll start now. We're going to do a few rounds of that, either sitting in a chair or if you're already kind of fatigued from sitting on your seat, you can lie on your back with your hands on your belly, and we'll begin. Make sure you get those lungs full as you can to hold that breath, and then also empty your lungs completely. Take 2 more rounds of the 4 square breath. When you complete the 4 square breathing, just let your breath return to a natural rhythm. If your eyes are closed, you can gently open them for a soft gaze in front of you, or you can keep them closed. I have awakened again, and I give thanks. Before me, the blessing of this day, a feast of choices and possibilities. And the breath within me says, great is your faithfulness. You offer me another chance. You offer me life. This day I am created to create this day. This day I am created to create this day. This feast of possibilities and choices is all around us all the time. Regardless of our circumstances, there's always a choice to be made. So we'll go through our physical practice today, and my invitation to you is to bring in as much gratitude as you can for all the things that your body can do for you, and that allow us to do things in the world for others. So let's do some floor work. So we'll use our strap and get into those legs. So lying on your back with the strap around your right foot. And shimmy those shoulders down away from your ears. And rest your elbows on the floor. Flex your right foot. Oh my goodness, are anybody's legs tight? Mine are so tight today. You can wrap the straps around your hand if that helps you from tightly gripping. That kind of helps to relax the hands. And just getting into the hamstring. So when we have tight hamstrings, that often leads to tight backs. So if we can keep the hamstrings as flexible as possible, that will help. The lower back especially. So taking your straps, just take the leg across the body a little bit. Breathe here. And then exhale, take the leg out to the side just a little, not a lot. And we're just going to move the leg side to side like a pendulum. Breathing the whole time. And keeping the right foot as flexed as you can. Check on your pace. Notice if you're moving through it quickly or if you're able to slow down to the rhythm of your breath. Good. Come back to center, and we'll do the key and the keyhole technique. So we'll internally rotate that whole leg bone, all the leg bones, but we'll move them as one unit. Turn the toes. Think of pigeon toeing. Bringing the leg with you, and then externally rotating, turning the toes out, but not just the toes. We want the whole leg, the foot, the whole leg complex to move and go inward and outward. So you'll notice sometimes people will start to move around and do lots of circles, and we want to keep the leg as stable as possible, only turning the leg so that deep inside the hip socket it's getting some nourishment. And we're stimulating the synovial fluid in the hip. So flexible, soft hips, loose hamstrings will help the back. Good. All right, so go ahead and release the strap and take your right foot and bring it to the inside of your left thigh or if that's too much, you can bring it to the inside of your calf. We're basically just doing a supine tree pose, lying on the floor, opening up that inner thigh. So you'll want to keep your left leg very active. Really squeeze the leg as if you're standing on the ground, and flex your left foot. Reach your arms overhead if you have room to do so, and just imagine yourself standing on the ground so you've got this tree pose shape. You could think of yourself as like one of those sprawling oak trees that have those huge trunks and branches that are really low to the ground, kind of rooting in and spreading out. Good. So now bring your arms back, and then you can help that bent knee, the right knee, across your body and take us to a gentle twist. Using your block, if you need to, under this, the twist under the knee. And breathe here. Engage your abdominals and bring the leg back up to center, and then just lay flat and reposition yourself so your hips are on the floor, and just feel the right leg. It could possibly feel a foot longer than the left leg, as mine does, and just take a moment to notice what you feel. And then we'll switch over to the left leg now. And as always with this stretch, you can keep the other leg a little bit bent if you need to, or you can straighten the leg. So it's your choice. You'll want to flex the left foot quite a bit and then re-establish your foundation. So slide the shoulders down, the back maybe wrapping the straps around your hands, and just noticing the hamstring on this side. Taking some deep breaths. And flexing the foot, and as much as you're able to, activating the thigh, the quadricep muscle. Some of you, your knee will stay bent, and some of you, your leg will be straight. So just think of activating the quad, which is going to help release the hamstring. And then start to do the pendulum move, just side to side, a small range of motion. Breathing in as you cross the body, breathing out as you take it out to the side just a little bit. Breathing in, crossing the body. And make this movement slow enough to match the pace of your natural breath. Good. Pause at center and start to internally rotate that leg, and then externally rotate in and out, keeping the leg pointed straight up, keeping the foot flexed, and notice all that heat building movement happening deep in the hip socket. You might feel other sensations throughout the leg as well. And pause and release. I don't think we forgot anything with the strap. If we did, take a second to do whatever I forgot. Otherwise, we're going to come into our lying on the floor tree pose. So the bottom of that left foot connecting in with the right leg, and really active right leg here. So flexing the right foot and reaching the arms overhead as you're ready, and keeping the arms active, but also keep the shoulders away from your ears, just as you would if you were doing a standing tree pose. Breathe here. We could twist. We'll do our twist at the end. I think we did it at the end last time. Breathe. Keep the quote-unquote standing leg active. Good. Release the arms, and then take your hand to help your knee up and across your body, coming into our twist. Engaging the belly, bring the leg back to center. Go ahead and stretch your legs out. Reposition your hips. Just take a moment to integrate those stretches on that side. So we're going to unwind some of that deep tension in the hip flexors. So we'll use our block for this. So bend your knees and lift your hips and slide your block underneath your hips. And now we'll straighten the left leg and keep the heel of the left leg on the floor. So we want to once again activate the quadricep and flex the foot and press down into the floor. It's a lot more potent when we do that rather than just hanging out in the shape. So if you activate the front leg muscles, reach the toes up, you'll feel that you can get into the hip flexor a little bit better. So feel free to reach your left arm up overhead if you want a full side body stretch. Keeping that left leg active, use your breath as well. With your exhale, imagine just those deep hip flexor muscles softening and melting with every exhale. And then release the activation of the left leg and slide it back towards you nice and slow. And change sides, sliding the right leg out, squeezing the quadricep, that thigh muscle, and lifting the right toes and pressing the heel into the floor. Start with this for a couple of breaths and then see if you want to lift your arm overhead as well on that right side. Every exhale, softening those deep hip flexors. Keep squeezing the leg. Good. Release the tension on that right leg and slide it back up. Pause here, and this is in a supported bridge pose. Just pausing here. We'll stay here for this nice little inversion and release the neck. So lifting the right arm overhead, you're going to gaze over your left shoulder at the same time. And then as you exhale, bring the arm and the head back to starting position. Inhale the left arm up, at the same time turning over your right shoulder. Exhaling, bringing the hand and head back to starting. So try to link the breath to the movement, alternating sides. Making sure you complete one full round before that other arm lifts up off of the floor. Make this one your last one. Resting your both arms by your sides. And then just tucking the tailbone and pressing into your feet to lift your hips and lower the hips down. Good. Hug your knees into your chest. Release your back. This is a counter pose to that psoas release. And then turn to your side and then continue turning. We're going to flip over onto our bellies. So feet are flat on the floor and close together, and hands are flat on the floor and they're about halfway down your rib cage. Slide your shoulders down your back and Velcro those inner elbows to your ribs. There is Velcro there. Your neck stays long. Your inner belly button, think of lifting it from away from your mat. So you've got your core always engaged. Press the top of your feet down. Squeeze your thighs so that your kneecaps lift slightly off the floor. And with that bottom half of the body really solid, you'll start to lift the chest, the head. Keep your belly engaged. Lift your hands off the floor. So keep your neck long so you're looking down, and you are activating and using the erector muscles of the spine. This is really good for you. Lower down and rest your head to one side. So reactivate the lower half of the body again. Suck the belly button in. Turn the head to face down and start to lift up, rising up, chest, head, and then if you're able to, your hands. So this means you're not going up very high, but you're using all of the right muscles. Slide your shoulders down your back and lower down. Rest your other cheek to the floor. So we'll come back to center here and press into your hands. Keep your elbows velcroed in close if you can, and start to press yourself up, lifting nice and slow. Walk your knees in, and from here just take a little child's pose. Reach your arms out or keep them close. Take a moment in child's pose to express some gratitude for something in your body that is working for you now. And then rocking forward, coming to all fours. We'll do a little cat and cow, rounding the back. And then inhaling as we arch and gaze up. Really getting as much range of motion as you can in your spine, unless you are practicing with osteoporosis. Then you'll be very cautious and avoid the rounding of the back. Good, and then shifting the weight forward and back and getting into the hips. And we'll thread the needle here, so Karen's favorite. You're going to scoop your left arm underneath your right arm, side of the head to the floor, and reach that right arm out in front of you. So there's a way in which you could just hang out in this pose, which is fine, or you could make your muscles really help you get into those spots that are tight. So you would press your lower arm, your left arm, into the floor. Really press the shoulder into the floor, which helps you to stretch the rhomboids between the shoulder blades and gets into your deltoid. Breathe, focusing on the twist in the thoracic upper spine. So you can stay right here. We're going to add something as an option just for funsies. So this is a balancing kind of pose. I'm sure at least a couple of you will try this with me. Don't be afraid that to fall over. I've done it many times. So you've got your right arm extended over your head. So maybe just try to extend your left leg. You don't have to lift it off the floor. Keep it on the floor. So extend your right. Did I say left leg? I hope not. Extend your right leg. Your toes are still on the floor. And it adds just a little bit of balance component. And then bring that knee back. And come out of this twist on this side. And we'll do the other side. So scooping the left arm under the right, extending the right arm. And you can be passive in this, or you can be active, really pressing the arm into the floor. And as you take deep breaths, you're really stretching those muscles between the shoulder blades. And then if you're in the mood to have some fun and be courageous and not afraid to fall, you can extend the left leg and make sure your toes stay on the floor. If your leg was extended, keep your belly engaged and bring the knee down to the floor again. Come back to your starting position. And then everybody, come on up. And come to your knees and just do some shoulder releases. We'll use our blocks for this next set of stretches. We're going to do some lunges, kneeling lunges for our hips and for our psoas. So having your blocks, I like to use them the high setting on either side of your mat. We'll go ahead and bring the left foot forward and see if you can get your knee to line up over your ankle, and try to avoid this knee way out over the ankle, just for today. It's usually okay when you're kneeling. It's more something you would avoid if you're standing. It's very hard on the knees, but for kneeling, it's usually okay. But today we'll just start with this perpendicular shape. And so hold your belly in and engage all the pelvic floor muscles like you're retaining urine, and then you're going to sink into your lunge. So as you keep the pelvic floor muscles engaged and you sink into the lunge, you'll feel a stretch in that hip flexor on the right side. Breathe here. You can even press the back leg into the floor a little bit. Think of pressing your shin into the floor. As you do that, you'll notice that it affects the stretch. So here's another option for you. So I'm going to let one block go, or actually you might want to stack the blocks. So I'm going to keep a block inside the front leg, and you might even stack a block and start to come down to your forearms perhaps, or just spin the elbows a little bit and get a little deeper into your lunge. The front knee is going to probably come out a little bit. That's totally fine. You're going to get into different parts of the groin. And breathe. Probably there's a few grimaces happening, so just soften the face and turn the lips upward for the smile asana. And breathe. I really miss the laughter, you guys. When we're together in person, you laugh out loud at all my jokes, whether they're funny or not, and I'm really missing that today, but I'm glad you're here. Okay, we can do this. Let's do 3 more breaths in and out through the nose. Try to relax your shoulders and your jaw. See, now we can give thanks, true thanks, that we're coming out of this pose. So go ahead and come on up. Oy vey. And now stay on the same side and just walk your blocks back and lift the toes of that forward leg. So we're stretching the hamstring again. Just for a second. Good. Okay, are you ready for the next side? Yes, you are. Okay. Let's bring the left foot forward. See, I'm trying to mirror you. I hope I'm doing right. Okay, here. So, wait, did I say left? Just bring your other foot forward. Other one, whatever one you didn't do, I'm sure you'll remember. And remember, the knee is over the ankle, blocks are tall. And start here in a nice little simple lunge. And remembering to engage the pelvic floor and the core. So pulling the belly button, think about pulling it in and up, like it could come in and touch like your sternum. I pull it in and up. And of course, all the things that I offer are just that. They're offerings. You don't have to go to any other levels or additions. If you want to stay here, you can do that, or you can stack your blocks, or maybe you don't want to use blocks and you just come right down to your elbows and place them in a way where you can rest your arms on them for support. And then that front knee will come out just a little bit. This is a really juicy stretch. Now, it's really common, I just caught myself, to let the abdomen sag here. So you want to always keep the core engaged. Just a little bit of that engagement to support the lower back. And we're breathing. Okay, 3 more. We can do this. You might press your back leg, the straight one, you might press it into the floor a little bit more. Okay. We're going to slowly come out of this. We're just going to come up a little bit, bring those blocks with you, and just stretch the hamstring now. Just lift those front toes up. Good job, everybody. All right, we're done with that. So let's come to standing. And make sure your ball, your massage ball, your tennis ball, pink ball, whatever you have is handy. And first, just listen, oh my goodness, loosen up those hips. Do some circles. And bring your feet together. Legs, zip them up and do some knee circles. And then standing on one foot, do some ankle circles. Also, if balance is a challenge for you, you can always do your ankle circles like this. The other side. So just freeing up all that stagnant energy in the joints. Okay, and now let's massage the feet. So bring your ball under your right foot and just give it a little rub. Again, if you don't have a ball, you can always just use your thumbs and knuckles and massage your foot in a seated position. Just a couple passes through the whole surface of the foot. And switch to the other side. Sometimes, well, this is a great one to do at night. Like if you like to watch TV or even read or anything in the evening, you can make this a part of your practice, just getting your feet massaged with this ball. And it's those small changes we make consistently that really transform our lives. So something as simple as self-foot massage could really affect so much of your body and your well-being, your sleep, by making it just a regular practice that takes 5 minutes at the most. Okay, place the ball off to the side. Soft knees. We're going to do our 3 thumps, so tapping under the collarbones, tapping vigorously, breathing in and out through the nose. Thank you for our immune system. And then tapping or knocking on the chest, letting out a nice ah sound. Ah, good. And now tapping on the rib cage, knocking and tapping to get that spleen stimulated. Good. And then shake it all out. And breath of joy. So nice wide stance. And we'll breathe in 3 times and then let out an ah or a ha. Ready? Ha. 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 3 more. Last one. Good. Just oxygenating those cells, that body. Let's take a few standing poses. So in the standing pose, in our Warrior 2 pose, I want us to think about that daily blessing of giving strength to the weary. We have a daily blessing. Hanotein leah eif koach. Hanotein leah eif koach. And it is thanking the Creator for giving strength to the weary. And I know many of us have been weary for a while. But here we are. We get to practice. So let's take our Warrior 2 pose. So bring your right foot as your bent leg foot. Right foot is forward. And the back leg perpendicular, kind of turning inward a bit. Heel to inner arch alignment if you're able to, and then just float your wings up, gaze over your right arm. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanotein laya eif koach, for giving strength to the weary. Feel your strength. From Warrior 2, we'll take a side angle. So just bring that lower arm down to press into the leg and reach the upper arm straight up or over the head. Pull the navel in and avoid sinking or sagging into the shape here. So keep your abdominals active. Good. And then come back to your Warrior 2. Go ahead and straighten the front knee and just come into your triangle pose. So here you might use a block down at the bottom near your ankle, or you can just come to a place that feels like a challenge for you. Press your hips forward though, and keep that core pulled in. This one's a real strength builder. Good, and then float your arms back up. Bring your hands to your heart. Okay, turn your feet. We're gonna take the second side. We'll just face the other direction. So now your left leg is your front leg. Bending the knee, keep your block nearby. Make sure the back foot is on the floor, so the outer edge of the foot should be connected to your mat. Bending the knee as much as you're able to. Maybe the knee tracks over the ankle if possible, but if not, if you have knee issues, you can just take a little bit of a lunge. This is also for hip replacements, like not wanting to go too deep in any of these lunges. And float your arms up. Pull your shoulder blades together so you have a broadening across the chest and heart, gazing over that front hand. And breathe. Feel the strength of your lower body, the roots of your feet growing into your mat, into the floor. With your core engaged, we're going to come into side angle pose. So pressing the lower arm into the thigh or the knee. You can always use a block if you'd like to. Upper arm can come over the head or stay up. And breathe. Float the arms back up to warrior two. Straighten the front knee. And shift your hands over that front leg and foot and pivot the arms for triangle pose. Press your hips forward. Squeeze the quad on the front standing leg. If you tend to hyperextend in the knees, you can have a tiny bend there to help for that. Pull the belly in. Feel the strength of your core. And then float yourself back up. Hands to the heart. And then walk your feet into each other just a little bit. So we've got a bit of a squat here. I'm going to bring my right hand to my thigh and let my left arm just hang. So keep your core engaged. And just let your arm hang and let it be really heavy, like it has a pendulum on it. So it wouldn't be like an active stirring. We're like imagining it's just hanging there, and we're going to get it going and let it move kind of on its own. So releasing all of the muscles in the rotator cuff, just releasing tension. Go ahead and start to move the opposite direction. Keep your belly button pulled in. Good. And then change sides. So start your movement and let it keep going. Focus on relaxing the shoulder. And slowing the movement down and then changing direction. Start it kind of big and then let it pendulum. Good. And then go ahead and relax. We're going to take Prasarita Padottanasana. So it's our wide-legged forward fold. So open up those legs nice and wide, keeping the outer edges of the feet on the mat, and hinge forward with a flat back. So with a block, you might come halfway down, or you might come halfway down with your hands on the floor. It just depends on the length of your arms and your flexibility. I'll flip around here. So I've got a flat back, but that's because I have a block kind of propping me up. Keep your core pulled in and your legs really active. So we've been talking about squeezing the quads, right? So as you squeeze your quads, your kneecaps will kind of lift. And as you activate one side of the muscles, then the other side has to release. You can't have both sides active at the same time. So you squeeze your quads, your hamstrings will release. A little more anyway. So now if you'd like to, you can come all the way down, release the weight of your head, come into your forward fold. Bend your knees just a little bit and heel toe your feet in toward each other and bring hands to hips and rise up. Good. So we'll take a balance pose. We'll take our tree pose, standing up instead of lying down now. So let's let our left leg be, I'm going to mirror you. Let's let our left leg be our standing leg, and right foot's going to come somewhere inside that leg, avoiding the knee joint. I'll come off my back. So we're pressing the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. We're gazing at something that is not moving. Bring your hands somewhere that feels right for you today. Maybe they're at your heart, or maybe the branches are wide and reaching. And just feeling the effort of being in balance, physically and in life. And remembering that we have the gift of choice. We're free beings. We have the gift of choice in moving ourselves toward balance or away from balance. And go ahead and release this side and shake that leg out. So the blessing for this freedom is Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani bat chorin, or bein chorin. Thank you, Creator, for making me a free being. Let's switch to the other side. So we're standing now on the right leg. Left foot comes somewhere inside that leg. The hips face forward. Really pressing the bottom limbs toward each other. So feeling that gathering of energy. As you do that, you'll kind of get a little more buoyant in the upper body. Breath is flowing. Let yourself come out of this nice and slow. Good. Shake it out. And come on to your backs. So we'll take a little figure 4 stretch here. So crossing the right ankle over the left knee and bringing the hands behind the left thigh. Just getting into the glutes and hip. And of course, this is a pose where if you prefer to do pigeon pose, you could do that instead. And releasing this side and switching over to the other side. And then softening, releasing out of this shape, and just take a moment to do any other last stretches or poses that would feel good to you before you settle into your final resting pose, your Shavasana. And when you hear the sound of the bell, that's your official invitation to find stillness. rest to this body of yours that has been with you your whole life, that does your bidding, that does its best to do your bidding. With every exhale, allowing all the muscles and bones to soften and to let go. Baruch atah Adonai, mekor nefesh kol chai. Baruch atah Adonai, mekor nefesh kol chai. For life, for health, for hope, for beautiful, bountiful blessings. All praise to the source. All praise to the source of being. For life, for health, for hope, for beautiful, bountiful blessings. All praise to the source. All praise to the source of being. I have awakened again, and I give thanks. Before me, the blessing of this day, a feast of choices and possibilities, and the breath within me says, "Great is your faithfulness. You offer me another chance. You offer me life. This day, I am created to create this day." Baruch atah Adonai, mekor nefesh kol chai. Baruch atah Adonai, mekor nefesh kol chai. For life, for health, for hope, for beautiful, bountiful blessings. All praise to the source. All praise to the source of being. For life, for health, for hope, for beautiful, bountiful blessings. All praise to the source. All praise to the source of being. I invite you to take a few deep breaths and to begin to awaken your senses to your surroundings. Gradually, slowly, finding your way to a seated position. With your hands resting in prayer position at your heart. I invite you to join me in our closing prayer, call and response. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be loved. May all beings be free. May all beings have peace. May it be so. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Shalom.